So what we have done in this problem is, this is a basic structure that is shown to you. We have determined the reactions, and after determination of reactions, what we have done is we have found out the value of cos theta and sin theta. So because these angles were not given, so cos theta and sin theta, to find out, what we have done is, this is 2 meters, this is 1.5 meters. So by Pythagoras theorem, we have calculated the length of BD. So this is under root 2 square plus 2 square plus 1.5 square under root. So this came out to be approximately 2.5 meters. So 2.5 meters is the length. So cos theta comes out to be 0.8, sin theta is 0.6. Now the first basic step is to search for a joint which has not more than two unknowns. So if you look at joint A and B, these are the two possible joints from where we can start the problem, because they have either one or two unknowns and one or two knowns, and to a maximum of two unknowns. Why we are concentrating on two unknowns? Because it is a problem of coplanar concurrent force system. Once you have isolated the joint becomes a coplanar concurrent force system. So you have two equations of static equilibrium available. So if you have two equations, to the maximum you can find out any two unknowns only. Okay, so we have started with joint A. Initially what we are doing is we are assuming, whenever we have to assume the direction of the forces, we will be assuming them as tensile only. So the purpose is, initially let us assume them as tensile, means positive. So initially, if they are positive in nature, if the value comes out to be negative, it becomes very easy to handle, mm, whether they are actually positive or negative. Because if you assume them to be compressive in nature, they have to come out minus. So minus minus plus, again, it makes the problem a bit more difficult as compared to mm, assuming them as tensile. So we have assumed them as tensile, and we have calculated the value of AD and AC. So after calculating, solving joint A, let us search for a joint. So another joint is either C or B. We could also go with joint D, because we have two knowns. You know AD, you know this 12, and you can calculate the other two forces. So it is our discretion which joint do we select. So we are selecting joint C, because looking at that joint, we can say that it is relatively simpler. So once you have drawn the diagram for joint D, putting down all known and unknown forces, you can calculate, sorry, joint C, putting all known and looking at the unknown situation, you can calculate the value. So simply you can calculate. So it is, you have to take a wise decision, which joint do you want to solve first, because it is advised, or it is recommended, that you select easier joints to solve, because the easier the joint is to solve, the easier your problem becomes. Coming to, again, once C is solved, you have an option of going with joint D or joint B. If you look at joint D, you have four forces involved here. So four forces means, again, you have to write down sigma fx is equal to 0, sigma fy is equal to 0, and then solve the problem. Whereas if you solve joint B, simply by using Lami's theorem, you can calculate the unknown force in member BD, because that is the only force that you require. All other forces have been previously found out. So simply draw the diagram of joint B, isolate it from the truss, and you can calculate the value of FBD. So these are the various forces in all the members. You need to prepare a table. The configuration of the table says that it will be something like this, where it will be serial number, means the number of members. So there are five members, so you need to write them all five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the five members. You need to write down the name of the member, let it be A, B, B, C, C, D, whatever it is. You have to write down the force, and you have to write down the nature or sense. So whatever minus values you have got, those are all compressive. Whatever positive values you have got, those are all tensile. And simply by drawing this table, you can clearly show what all has been demonstrated in the problem. Okay, so this is about this specific problem. So this is your last problem for method of joints. So this is a cantilever truss. So cantilever truss ka matlab, it is supported from one end and the other end is free. In these types of trusses, you need not find out, or you are not required to find out the reaction at supports. The reason is again very simple. DF, if you look at the member DF, it is stuck to the fixed support. So it is having actually infinite number of supports. The member DF has infinite number of supports. Okay, so that is not possible to calculate, neither do we calculate. Okay, so in a cantilever truss, the basic aim is to find out the forces in all the members, and the only thing that you need to remember is you have to start from the free end. You need not, or you cannot start from any other end. You have to always start from the free end, because free end will always be that point where you will have not more than two unknowns. All other joints, if you look at all other joints, let us say joint B, joint C, anything, they will be having more than two number of unknowns. So first, this will also come under the category of a perfect truss. If it is not a perfect truss, you cannot solve it. But basically, in your examinations, etc., the problem that is given is a perfect truss. Okay. So for this truss, what you are doing is you need to start from the free end. So distances are being given. So what we'll do is we'll calculate the value of cos theta and sin theta, because theta is not mentioned here. So if BC is equal to 2, if BC is equal to 2 and AC is equal to 4, so AB is equal to under root 2 square plus 4 square. So 16 plus 4, 20 under root 20. So you have cos theta is equal to 4 by under root 20 and sin theta is equal to 2 by under root 30. So you have calculated the value of cos theta and sin theta. Now let us come to joint A. The criteria for a cantilever truss is very fixed, that you have to start from the free end. So if you start from the free end, the one force is given to you, this 200 force is given to you, and you have these two unknown forces. So initially we need to assume their direction. So we have assumed their directions as negative. So if you calculate this, FAB is equal to minus 200 by sine theta. You know the value of sine theta, it is 2 by under root 20. This comes out to be 447.2 kilonewton. It is minus, so in the bracket I have intentionally written this as compressive, because while preparing the table it will make my job easier. So we have solved joint A. Once joint A or the free end joint has been solved, what we do is we search for a joint which has not more than two unknowns. Okay, so to search for a joint which has not more than two unknowns, if you go to C, joint C, you have one known, you have 1, 2, 3 unknowns. So it cannot be solved. So the only option left with you is you have to solve joint B. So if you go for joint B, again, this is the free body diagram. If this is theta, obviously this angle is 90 minus theta. So we have mentioned this. So FBC is equal to FAB. This is FAB. FAB cos 90 minus theta. Cos 90 minus theta is sin theta. Okay, we are resolving it vertically. So this is minus 447, minus y minus 447, because this is the value that we have got earlier. We are using the values as it is. हम दिया हुआ भी टेंसाइल मानते हैं और निकाला हुआ भी टेंसाइल मानते हैं. अगर वैल्यू नेगेटिव आ रही है तो नेगेटिव के साथ ही यूज कर लो उसको. इसको हम कंप्रेसिव लिख सकते हैं, माने अंदर की ओर लिख सकते हैं 447.2. मैं सहूलियत के लिए क्या करता हूं कि मैं लिखूंगा, सभी लिखूंगा, बनाऊंगा, दिखाऊंगा सभी कुछ टेंसाइल. अगर मैं पुरानी वैल्यूज यूज कर रहा हूं तो पुरानी वैल्यूज साइन के साथ यूज कर लूंगा. So FAB sin theta, you can calculate the value of BC. Similarly, you can calculate the value of BD. ठीक है, resolving it horizontally. So you will get these two values. Now again, you come to joint C. If you come to joint C, you can see that again all the forces, members, theta, everything is known to you. You can solve and calculate the values of member CE and CD because other two members are previously known to you. BC you have already calculated from here, AC you have already calculated. Put down the values and solve and create the table. So the thing that you need to remember in a uh, cantilever truss is the solution of the truss has to start from the free end. This is one important thing that you need to remember. And again, the process remains the same. Proceed from joint to joint and find out all forces in the members. And you need not solve joint D or joint F. Okay, D, F joint will not be solved. Other than that, if once B has been completed, you can go to joint C and your job will be done. So you have to solve three joints and you can find out forces in all the members of the truss. So this is how you solve problems in cantilever trusses. Cantilever trusses are the easiest of the lot. Simply कुछ नहीं करना है, ना रिएक्शन ना कंपोनेंट, सीधे फ्री एंड को पहले सॉल्व करिए, उसके बाद आप खोजना शुरू करिए कि कौन सा ऐसा जॉइंट है जिस पे आपके पास दो से ज़्यादा अननोन ना हो, दो या दो से कम अननोन. So again, that problems become simple itself and you can solve and find out forces in all the members.